Yeah.
Just
Did
remember,
anyone know what Scott was doing? Like,
remember,
below the
you just
screen, like
no.
when he was shuffling, you could like hear some shuffling, and he was like making some strange noises.
talk softly, but carry a big stick. That's all you need to know. Talk softly, carry a big stick. Like, I'm nice to people, but they know at any point in time I can do this to them. And you're stuck with that. That's now in your brain. There you go.
I'm fine with that.
I demand a pay rise.
Wow, the love heart card with Scott. And I like how you put the envelope to cover the grey patch on your beard.
Oh, you motherfucker. How did this turn out bad for me? How did my joke turn out bad for me? Anyways.
Everything is Monica.
Everything is Monica. All right, so
You played that game?
No, I don't even know what game that is.
Oh, it's really fucking good.
I assume Doki Doki. I think that's what it is.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's genuinely like it's worth it.
I thought it was really impressive actually. For a very short game, it had an awful lot of feels packed into it.
Yeah. It's also if you have the game files open on another screen, there's added elements that are really fucking cool.
And it is interesting. That was a cool element that they added into it. I gotta agree.
So,
Back to
literally while children are playing out by the water, they have a finding over by the river.
Oh no, it's a bunch of pebbles in a pile.
See, it's this finding right here.
Don't root through it, please. Don't touch it.
They do find some pebbles, actually.
Why are you like this?
They do. And they actually are able to uncover a statue buried in the sand.
That's a lot of pebbles.
There's pebbles around it, erosion and whatnot, breaks down. So they're actually able to uncover a statue buried in the sand. Now, the statue being buried in the sand is already amazing enough. What makes it seem more amazing is that according to the kids, the testament of the kids, when they ran back and because when they saw it, they thought this is so cool, and they're digging it out and nobody's watching them because they're children, and other kids came over and like, yeah, let's go do this. And it's like, when kids get this idea in their head, this could be the coolest thing ever. I'll give you an example of that. There's a portion of my parents' basement that's exposed to just dirt down there. It's like cemented everywhere, but there's literally let's call it 14 foot by 14 foot area that's just dirt. And one time when digging in there, we found little chunks of coal. And so a buddy of mine, when I was, I think, a freshman in high school, literally spent the entire night not sleeping, staying up all night, digging out coal, thinking, oh my God, we're going to be rich. We found a coal mine. Yeah. The house is just old, and that used to be where there was a coal boiler to heat the house. I didn't know that. I do now at 34, 20 years later, or sometime between now and then. Anyways, kids are dumb. Yeah. No, I'm not even joking. We did not sleep that night. We just dug up chunks of coal that we found inside dirt. Oh, anyways, moving on.
That's hilarious.
So, these kids go over it. They get this idea. We're gonna dig out this thing. It's gonna be we're gonna be the best explorers. Except, they weren't wrong. They actually found this incredible statue. It's massive in size. We're talking like stands almost. It stands easily like waist, chest, head, and shoulders above that of a normal man. You know what I mean? Like, it is a pretty large statue. It's beefy and stands so and so.
Waist, head, chest, shoulders above you.
Yeah, just chest and shoulders above me. Yeah.
No, that's two people on top of each other.
Listen, Neil, I'm taller than you. As much as you try to make these jokes, I'm actually taller than you.
Yeah, sure. Fly me out there and we'll have proof, huh?
I'll think about it. Maybe if you
actually, not right now. I don't really want to come to America right now.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Don't come here.
No offense.
You guys banned us, so I mean, like, keep that going.
When you fix your shit, then we'll come over.
After COVID, we'll just fly over to the US and make use of that table Scott's got in his.
Wow,
it's clean.
I hope you mean making use of that table for D&D reasons.
We'll test it.
There's going to be a red light.
We'll test its support. It will work. There's a vice grip over there. I'm just telling you, Neil. You got your fetish. Moving on. So, according to the kids, at one point in time, as they had been digging it up, it moved. According to one of them, as they were trying to dig it out, there was an area where, like, its arm, the way it was curled, it was hard to dig out, and literally the arm unfurled and made it easier for them to dig it out. Of course, they didn't keep digging at that point. They all, ah! And, like, ran and told everybody else what was going on, because it was a group of, like, say, adolescents, early teens, mid-teens, that kind of range. We all went and informed the adults of what's going on, of course, and authorities would have reported it back, and so on and so forth. But when it was investigated by you guys, you just found a big, massive statue that's not in the shape of a mole or a man. It just seems to be this large, vaguely humanoid statue. If you had to say something, it would have kind of looked like, I guess, Kithel, because, we've never described exactly what it looks like. Like, minor features.
He's a hunk.
He's sexy. You get them thirsty. Anyways, moving on.
He's literally the Rock, but made of rock.
That's what they discovered there. And according to the kids, it moved at one point in time. But I guess maybe further investigation will allow you to figure out more as we go. But let's keep going. The next thing we wanted to do was our kingdom rolls for Hod Gwen. Let's make some adjustments to Hod Gwen. What?
No, sorry, go on. It's fine. Don't worry.
You sure?
I had an idea about what that was. No, it's fine.
Okay. Papa. And I come over here and pasta. Abandon everyone. And 1. Pasta. Abandon everyone. Now, for general, as a reminder, when the general is not there, not only do you not have stability, but loyalty decreases by 4, and their loyalty is already a 1. So, that's cool, bruh.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so stability, that's gone. So, the chance of making that stability check, it just got harder. And loyalty decreases by 4. There's no unrest or anything like that. All right, that's cool. Ruler. When you don't have the ruler. Hold on. A kingdom without a ruler can't claim new hexes, create farms, build roads, purchase settlements. Unrest increases by 4 during the kingdom's upkeep phase. So, it's cool that you brought your crew with you to go see God.
Uh-oh.
Scott, I don't get it. Why are you doing this? Why is all this happening? Because they left.
The second you put someone in the ruler slot, they're gonna disappear. Barry was in the ruler slot.
Why do you think we put you in the ruler slot?
Oh no!
What are you doing,
Kitty?
The reason why it matters that he's not here is because he leaves and doesn't come back. Like, days pass and weeks pass, and you've heard nothing from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, everybody. No. So you've heard nothing from 1, 2, or 3 for, at this point, at least weeks. They're gone. We'll deal with that later. That doesn't matter.
What's the story we're telling people?
Good question. Before we do the Hod Gwen rolls, go ahead. Feel free to discuss the story.
What are we going to tell people? Have to do? Where's he going?
I mean, last thing, do we know? Did people see him go into the temple?
We know that there was plans to try going to a plane.
Yeah, you two know, because I discussed with you what we were going to try. I was going to try and do.
Yeah, and then
so we know that he went into the temple, and that was it. He just didn't come back out, and the temple is now empty.
Yeah, Ilen's just going to be.
Nelly knew. I'm pretty sure. I think that's the extent of the people I told.
Yeah. We tell the advisors.
2 and 3. I assume 3 would have said that she was like coming over here or whatever she said to the Hod Gwen Council. But she obviously would have expected to be back.
I think all the advisors, we tell them exactly what actually happened and discuss with them what to tell people.
Well, we don't know exactly what happened, but we can tell him he's gone, and we don't know.
We know that he was going to attempt to traverse to Verga's plane. We assume.
I think this is like a really probably important thing. So you'd probably. I was saying, do you want to knock Hodgwen out quickly and then just dive into that, or do you want to just do that now?
I think it's
probably
reasonably
get the throne advisors together. I would assume
it's reasonably simple because we could tell the advisors like 1 is gone, 2 and 3 are gone as well, and we don't know where currently.
There's rumor that some demonic creature grabbed him from his bed in the middle of the night and delivered him into some
the
woods.
official story is that he's gone on a pilgrimage with the most devout followers. He's left the capable Nelly in his stead, who will be shepherding the chosen of Rogar. And while he's away on this spiritual journey, we will continue as he would desire in his stead. Any mention of devils, and you will be executed.
It's funny that you say that because Tesh, does that apply to Chosen as well?
So okay, I think the official story is that he's gone on pilgrimage.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just want to point that
the advisors know, but no one else.
Your character went from a lowly drug dealer from nowhere to, oh, Jeebus loves me and give me magic, to I'm a hero of a bunch of towns, to apparently I was chosen by a god to run a nation and have 1/3 of its command, to I guess half the command now.
Yeah.
Cool now.
Oh.
1 more to go.
You're right.
What?
Wow.
This is just the ascension. This season is the ascension of Ilen. There can only be one.
There can only be one. Nice.
Sorry.
I like it.
All right. I started from the bottom. Now I'm here. I started from the bottom. Now my cult is with me as well. All right. So moving
I
on.
pretended to hate the cult. Really, it was all my plan.
Tush, don't joke. They'll start to think that the truth is the truth. We need to keep them in the dark.
no, don't build a statue of me. No, don't.
Yeah,
Please.
Don't build a statue of me. I don't want that. Oh my
You got
God,
the
I don't know
eyebrows
what I
wrong.
do.
You got the eyebrows wrong. All right, moving on.
Are you building a temple of me? No, make it to like the martyr. No, I guess kind of I'm like the martyr incarnate.
Shh. I get sending next level.
Execute Order 66. All right, cool.
That was a bad Palpatine.
Oh, someone figured out the name.
I'm not old.
Kill him.
Ilen, kill them all. Like it. Moving on. Hodgwen, everybody's favorite place. In the upkeep phase, the first thing that happens, because there is no ruler. Good job, Jake. It's funny because as soon as Jake told me, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go there." I was like, "All right, cool." Jake, you're not gonna be around for that first Hodgwen roam. Sorry, man. He's like, "Oh." It's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh." I was like, "Yeah." So the unrest immediately in Hodgwen goes from 11 to 15. Because,
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
that's a thing that happens. And
They're
now...
just gonna die.
Sorry. It goes after the roll, though. I'm sorry. It goes after the roll. It says during the phase, but it doesn't say before the roll. So with the negative 11. And let me just make sure all the other factors are fixed. Unrest. Okay.
A phone call.
The undead crisis is taken care of, though, isn't it? It was resolved. So we actually get to resolve the undead plague. And so we get rid of that. -5 here. We get to have our stability check. We have a +16 versus a DC 29. Jake, you need to roll this. And Jake, you can use luck die. Just to be clear.
Well, let's see what happens. What was the DC again?
29. You have a 25% chance with a luck die to succeed. Do you or do you not want to luck die this stability check?
I'll try.
Oh man, and to think, you could have succeeded with that roll.
Well, I could have, been back by now. Nope.
Could have. Why don't we just blame Regicide? That's what you guys like to do. You guys like to make mistakes and then blame it on Regicide, right?
When did we
You can set that fairy tale narrative if you want.
Oh, Tesh, you weren't there on that conference call that the community had, but more or less, yeah. And then I don't think you were out there on that stream that we did with literally almost the entire cast of Aurorum was there for a stream. I want to say
not told about this?
Out of the 10 PCs, including Will, I want to say 7 plus myself were there. So, yeah, so me plus 7 of the PCs were all on a stream. It was pretty funny.
God, I missed that.
Yeah, no, it's good. Or maybe 8. I don't remember. It was pretty fun. It was goofy. Messi was on point. He was by and far the funniest person there. All right. Anyways, you fail. So unrest goes up by 1 because that's a thing that happens. There we go. Unrest goes up by 1. That gives us 12. And then immediately after that, we have our pay consumption, which they're able to pay, and you don't even get to know what's inside the treasury since you're not there. You don't see how they pay the consumption, but they do. And then roll for magic items. I guess we could do that. You want to roll a D100 for me, please, sir?
Roll 20 would work.
Yeah. Cool idea there, Josh. I'd love to see you try to coordinate with an Australian schedule. How much struggle do we have already? 57. That means you actually technically do get to create a magic item.
I mean, my sleeping pattern's all over the place. Just poke me where randomly I may be awake.
So next thing that happens is Wanderer's item. Do me a favor, roll me a D100, sir. So just press up and enter. You're gonna do this a few times, so bear with me on it. You get an 11. Let me show this over here so I can at least see that. So you got an 11. 11 means it's going to be a body slot. So with it being a body slot, roll me a D100. You rolled me a 58, that looks like. So with a 58, you actually made a, I suppose that makes sense to them. It's a robe of bones. Now, funny enough, its value is 2,400, which is more than Kurzfall can make. But Hodgwen actually has a base value of 8,000. Look over here. Hodgwen, base value 8,000 because of how big the place. I mean, look how massive this place is along the river. So I mean, it's because it's so huge. They actually can have a robe of bones, and cool, man. And that's actually considered a minor item, I believe. It is. We're not gonna make major items till the minor ones are full. So, robe of bones. I always forget I can't type over there. There we go. Robe of bones is a magic item they currently have. Yay, team. Moving on. Next thing on the kingdom roll. Oh, add 4 to your unrest. Because, that's life. So you have a 16 unrest. That's cool, man. There we go. So, your loyalty is -4. That's fun. And hey, look, if your unrest is 11 or higher, check the rules. Usually I just say, oh, you lose a thing, but now I actually have to check the rules because the unrest is so friggin' high that I honestly don't even know what to do. If your unrest indicates blah, blah, blah. If your unrest is 0, you cannot forever fall, blah, 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 blah. If your unrest is if your unrest ever reaches 20, the kingdom falls into anarchy. It's currently at a 16. If there's no leader next time, that means it will immediately fall into anarchy unless you guys can succeed the kingdom roll. So anyways, you lose control of hexes it's claimed. So you immediately lose control of one of its hexes, I believe.
Yeah, they can choose what hex they lose.
I'm just confirming that. Upkeep phase. Let me just get there. Sorry. Just want to confirm this rule. Phase event. Upkeep phase. So if it's 11 higher, it loses 1 hex. So it just simply loses 1 hex. See, losing hexes. Deal with that later. So, yeah, we'll deal with the anarchy if we get there, but there's a paragraph explaining it. So, the kingdom gets to choose 1 hex, but since you guys aren't at the helm of the kingdom anymore, we don't have 3 and 1 there anymore. We're going to allow chat to decide. So we're going to do it like this. We're going to have them roll. I'm going to be nice and have it be more of an auxiliary one at first. So chat, you're the first person in chat after I say go that rolls a D100, so don't roll it yet. 1 to 25 is going to be... 1 to 25 is going to be top left. 26 to 50 in the middle. 51 to 75 top right. And then the worst one you could possibly roll, 76 to 100 down here. Go. Hey, Steve, you took away the worst possible one to take away. Chaos reigns. Why should green roll? We should make green show how much they suffer? Nah, this is chaos. This is Steve. I appreciate that. All right. They lose not only a plains hex, they also lose a farm and a fishery.
Oh my god.
Ouch, bro.
For them. Yeah.
Yeah.
When they fall into anarchy, though, we can just sweep in with the troops.
No, anarchy is not easy to take over. It's actually harder to take over anarchy.
And we can be like, look, guys, we tried, you failed, so now we're taking over.
Yeah, they lost that. They're doing some rough stuff over there. Green would have rolled nicer. I don't know. Green could roll a D100 and see what it would have come out as. And now it's at least an upside down triangle. So yeah, that's cool. It's almost like you can make an arrow pointing down, saying where the nation's going. So after that is going to be assignment. If you're going to assign a leader, knowing the turmoil that they're in, now is the time. Now we have to pull to a bit of an RP moment. There is ridiculous unrest bordering anarchy in the city. The city is calling for someone to take over and to take charge. The city is calling for someone that they trust to take over because clearly the people that were in charge before, the council of bad guys that were in charge before couldn't do it. And clearly the chosen aren't able to manage this nation the correct way. So they want one of their own to start steering the ship.
Not managing it.
Yeah, one popped in and then disappeared and took the person that was leading it with them for a while. And it was
the chosen aren't managing it. The people
not directly. Directly, correct. Not directly. The people are calling for their leader to take over, the one that they want to be in charge. They're calling for the slumbering queen.
I will end her.
They are calling for the slumbering queen to take over. There is a massive call for it. And she's honestly not even... They're calling for it.
It's not ruled by us.
What was that?
What happened to the person they voted on the council?
Yeah. Stephanie, she has a +0. She's like, cool. But like... Also the least effective person there. Literally the least, aside from one. Oh, sorry, he's not there. Stephanie's the least effective one there. She literally just stops bad things from happening. She provides nothing good. So that is what they're calling for. That is what they want. Unless you guys are interjecting in any way whatsoever, that is where things are going to get moved to right now.
That's your 2 decisions. As I'm not there and I can't make that choice.
It's not our kingdom.
I mean, I'd like you to just impose somebody, but it's what you just want to do.
It's not our kingdom. If they want that person to take charge,
discover the secret that she's obviously hiding and reveal it to the people, and then we'll be okay.
Okay, cool. So she's going to have to take over, and it's one of those things where, of course, she gives like this begrudging. I'd rather stick to my hospital. I'd rather stick to my faith, but the people are calling for me to provide service.
Yes,
Must
do the whole speech.
Must listen to, so on and so forth. Because of course she has to. She has to provide where she can. So she's going to go and take that role. So Slumbering Queen will leave from here and take over as Slumbering Queen. Oh, look at that. 3 just gets deleted. How cute. Slumbering Queen comes over here, and she can choose where it's going to go to. Oh, thanks, love. 1 second.
Anarchy reigns.
I got watermelon, coffee, eggs, toast with butter and jam, and a smooch.
Right.
Well-balanced breakfast. All right, so she'd have to work on stability first. She needs to bring the reins in before she can worry about things like, the loyalty, which is horrible, of course, but you have to bring the reins in. You have to try to get some semblance of control of the nation, or it's going to just collapse. In her absence, obviously she needs other people to take over. She is going to actually turn to the Chosen because of the alliance that she currently has with Raerin, to see if they can lend aid in some regard. She says that she appreciates, of course, that you guys have been so kind as to lend to them Edric, who has done a degree of help for them, and who, Dwayne, who has also done help for them. She was wondering if you could send either somebody to, she's going to have one of her own people take over as the High Priest. My apologies, I actually know that. But she see if you could send somebody to take over as the general. Anybody to come over and take over the military. And she's doing this intentionally. It's one of those things where I did not want this position. There's a lot on my plate. There's a lot for me to take care of. I know that I have to try to lead the people. I'll have one of my subordinates take over my position. But my hands will be filled with the faith of the people and guiding them in the ways that they're asking me to. But beyond that, as the ruler, as the person that's going to be making the final decision, I'm going to be rather busy. There are still some lingering dead out there, as well as, trying to keep the people safe from the various other beasts and whatnot that might exist in the land. If you can provide anybody that could potentially aid me in the curating and training of soldiers so that we can better protect our nation and our alliance, I would greatly appreciate any aid that Kurzfall can offer, Raerin would offer.
You say that you are to be the ruler and have the final decision. You intend to move away from the council format.
Well, the way that the council is always, she said, my apologies, that phrasing, it's the way it's always gone with the council is that everybody has a vote, but the votes are weighted. 3 is had one of the heaviest weighting votes, not the heaviest, but one of. But I know that as the balance shifts some more, I'd be being dishonest if I didn't say that some of the heaviest votes come from both my position and somebody who has been a subordinate of mine for over a decade's time. We know how that goes, so whatever decision I have, clearly they're going to fall in line, but I also know that they're going to guide the spiritual nature of the people well, so to not put them in place would also be foolish. It's a double-edged sword, but I think one that can be wielded well, and with trust, if you can provide some more aid.
Out of character, what? So they need asking for a general, right?
Correct.
What do they use?
Charisma.
Stat-wise?
It's charisma or strength, which is a random weird one, but charisma or strength.
Yeah.
Mog, take the army. Honestly, I don't think what's his name would mind that so much.
I mean, it's basically fighting it. Oh no, the undead's probably not an issue anymore.
Mog, Jaden. I think those are the only two options.
It's funny. I wanted the tail end of the stream to be us making Jaden, but we spent so much time kind of laughing and goofing while. But that's okay. It was nice to hang out again.
Yeah.
My backpack in that hidden pouch. Yeah, no, it's the pouch behind the strap.
Little punk. Look at him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's in the backpack, is it? Tell you what isn't in the backpack. How Gwen, it shits all over the floor. Its backpack split open at the bottom.
Funny you say that because she literally just dropped the gate that I keep here to keep that stupid cat out, and it spilled all over the floor. So.
Nice.
Yeah. It happened because she's upset that she couldn't find my backpack. So she's like, is it broken? Referring to her mark of finding, the dragon mark of finding she has tattooed there. Funny.
I would think if we do provide anyone to support, Raerin would vote.
Oh, I wish I was there to witness that.
He's trustworthy beyond reproach, classically trained in the art of war.
I think he
Mog.
muted you.
He muted me? What?
I did not mute
I'm
you.
talking to you guys.
Yeah. I heard classically trained in the art of war, trustworthy, and that's all I heard.
Yeah, that's what I said.
About who?
Yeah.
Jaden.
Oh,
You know, she's actually been educated on it. The only thing I would say is that we've already provided a significant amount of support.
Are we back?
Okay, go ahead, Josh.
Are you
Are
good,
you
Tess?
all right, Tesh?
I think it's cutting in and out for me.
Oh, we see you. No
Yeah,
hiccups.
you're absolutely fine.
Okay. It like cut out entirely, and I was terrified that it was like my headset or something, but no, I got a pop-up saying unstable internet connection.
I'm sorry, so go ahead. The only problem is we've already provided. Go ahead, Neil.
We've already provided so much. Significant amounts. Money, supplies, combat, etc., that if she intends to adjust the weighting of this, I would expect our people to have the second highest weighting.
So the weighting of the thing has always been, because the primary rulers have always been the Slumbering Queen, who was the High Priest, 3, who was the ruler, and who was the other one that was in there as a big vote? Natalie Fox, who is the treasurer, right? Those are always the 3 big people. You would still have Natalie. You would oh wait, who was the general before?
It is Deputy Buckard at the moment.
And so he was the 4th one. So those are the 4. So you would.
So he might not have been a general. I don't know what role he was in.
No, he's stepped to warden. So the people that would have kind of like the big votes would be Natalie, who's still in favor of Raerin. You would still have, if you put her there, Jaden, and then obviously the Slumbering Queen would have the other 2. So when it comes to votes, you guys could almost always stalemate, and then it would defer to the others of her council for breaking votes.
Yeah, but I would still expect our representative to have the second highest weighting.
She was
Matching weight of those 4 positions.
Yeah.
Regardless of that, they aren't our positions. This is like this is a stipulation. Yes, Leshev probably would side with us because politically we're reasonably well aligned.
Mm-hmm.
But they are not Kurzweil.
Mm-hmm.
And Kurzweil/Raerin needs to be given a position worthy of its weighting in the amount of resources it has sank into, 1, trying to give this city its freedom, 2, trying to support this city through its attempts at freedom, 3, saving or helping fight.
I just think you're misunderstanding how the weighting works.
No. So let's say she gets 3 votes, equivocal, because she's the ruler. I would want Jaden to have 2 votes.
No. As the ruler, she has, let's say it's 3 votes, but also the general and the high priest and the treasurer have 3 votes.
So
everybody else is less.
Have a significant vote.
What it is that she's saying that the high priest is probably going to always vote what she votes, and she's just being honest about that. Okay. So more or less, she's saying she has 6 votes as an individual, because the second individual with that same weight would also just kind of go with what she goes with. And she was just being upfront about that. She didn't have to be. She just chose to tell you that.
Get 3 votes essentially with the general position.
Dwayne gets a single vote with Spymaster.
Assuming that's the breakdown, yes.
We did stack it in our favor. I mean, they have Xander that will vote with them, as well as probably the Hod.
Is Xander
Hodgwin
on the
girl.
count? I can't see Hadwen on my tracker anywhere. So
Oh, that's funny. If you look at the stream, you'll see it.
Yeah, it's a different tracker.
it's not on the stream.
It is
Yeah,
now.
you didn't put it on stream. Oh, okay.
Right. So we've got Slumbering Queen,
Put it up.
Stefania. Who's Grand Diplomat? Ashtara.
Mm-hmm. Ashara, she is from Hard. So, she's on your side. Lieutenant Margaret, she's the one that's kind of like, she's like a wild card because she's from Astrad. She's a sad person from Astrad. Sindra is from Forvin. So once again, kind of on your side because everything you just did for Forvin. Raerin is deputy. He's on your side. Natalie's on your side. Not 100%, but it's weighted that way in your favor. Mm-hmm. Xander would be on their side. So in theory, because Xander is more of an independent than somebody who's just going to toe the line. You know what I mean? He's not just going to always vote along party lines by any stretch, but he's definitely might lean that way because it is his leader, but he's an individual.
I'm
Strong-minded.
surprised that Xander got in, to be honest. But I suppose the people have had some time to know him. Tesh is dead. He's gone.
Mm-hmm. Dead forever.
Tesh.
But also look at what Xander offers to them. 6.
back?
I mean,
Yeah, but the people don't know that. It's the same way, like it doesn't, yes, they voted for the Slumbering Queen, but they didn't do that because she was the best.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically.
It's one of those things you could be like, you have a talent. I want you to show the people what your talent is. And they're like, oh, he's talented. There you go. Neil, don't show the people your talent. TOS.
Why are they on warlike recruitment? What the hell?
The undead. They're going to change that this round. But they were dealing with the undead.
How do they go about changing their government from Overlord?
That actually has to take literally a year. No, it might even take longer than that.
Yeah.
And there's literally a feat that actually, it would be a really good feat for Jake because of his interest in the city that allows him to actually change 2 things a year instead of 1, which is pretty cool. If he wanted to.
Jesus.
Okay.
That's
It's minimum a year.
Yes, then I think we should lend them Jaden if she agrees.
Jaden will agree, of course. Mm-hmm.
However, the mole ruins and the buildings associated with it in Haldgwen will become our embassy.
We've always had guards there as well.
We've always had guard, but it will officially become our owned land.
So with you saying that it's going to become the embassy, that let me pop that onto the screen so you can actually see what that looks like. Again, because their area is huge. The ruins take up a 4 square area, just like the ruins in all the other cities, which means that it can become one of many things. One of them actually can be a it's called something district, or I have to find the name. I'm so sorry. Buildings. There's actually a specific name for this kind of thing. Sorry, buildings. Why aren't you showing me the actual buildings? Content.
Manipulate the
fucking gerrymandering.
Nice. I did not know that word at all. Interesting.
What, you don't know
Oh, you
what
don't.
gerrymandering
Oh,
is?
this. I mean, I know it's an American thing. Foreign quarters, by the way, which is super cheap to make. Foreign quarters, it could become. I know it's an American thing. I don't know if it exists elsewhere. But
It's a horrific thing that you guys need to get rid of.
yeah. On both sides of the aisle. Yeah. People should be represented the way they want to. Let's change it. Change the subject. So, foreign quarters, it's a 4-lot area. It costs only 30 BP, so at half cost would be only 15 BP. It gives a +3 to economy. Actually gives a -1 to stability because it means that you have a lot of different people from a lot of different cultures coming in. Increases the value of trade routes, blah, 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 blah. Increases crime lore in society because it makes sense that you guys are bringing the crime and society. An area where many foreigners, as well as shops and services, you can kind of do that sort of a thing with it. Because there really isn't a embassy thing. I looked at all the 4-lot ones before. Again, 4 lots. Looking at this real quick. And I don't want to sidetrack too long for this. But it could be an arena, which makes sense for, Jake. It could be a castle, a cathedral, which makes sense if you're doing the religious takeover. Foreign quarters, a menagerie, which makes sense because Jake's an animal. The ladies have told me. It could be a palace. It could be a stockyard. I'll leave that alone. A university. I don't know if he's literate, or a waterfront. Because his politics are wishy-washy. So yeah, that's kind of like the options that it could be. So I lean towards it being a cathedral myself, honestly, just because I think
that's what we'd spoke about it being, but it's.
We were saying leave it as ruins, temporarily make it like a bit of a thing. I could totally see that happening for like 5 BP, using like a quarter of it temporarily as like almost like like a town hall. You can turn it into like a town hall if you wanted to, and that's just your office. So again, half cost town hall. I'm fine with that.
The question is, would she be in agreement with that?
And built over later.
With you guys having stable offices in an area we already have yourself kind of situated, you should be fine with that.
Yeah, but what I mean is that I would want it to function similar to an embassy in that will be considered more our land than theirs, and we would maintain a small household guard.
Yeah, small household guard she would have no problem with, so on and so forth. She thinks that having an embassy there is a good idea. She actually pushes a step further and says, well, that area that you're referring to, those old ruins, those are massive. There's a lot that could be done with that place. Having an embassy there would be a good idea. Having an area of there that belongs to you more than us, I can agree with that. And I think most of the counselors would. And maintaining a guard for, the safety of your diplomats that you keep there and your records, I agree with that as well. But if we're making a council that belongs to many different peoples, perhaps we should turn that area into a bunch of small embassies. Think like Mass Effect being on the big structure there. A bunch of small embassies. An embassy for each of the represented cities. I think that would be amicable for everybody involved.
Oh, yeah, fuck.
Raerin would, of course, be happy to host the embassies of our friends within our areas.
You want to host your allies. I mean, you are centrally located. It would be good for you to host people in your capital city. That is a great way for you to conduct your own business. But the business of Hard Gwen would, of course, have to fall within the Council of Hard Gwen.
But you wish for us to host the embassies of the other towns, correct?
I'm saying that they can have their own embassies as well. Having an embassy for each of them is represented.
Our area.
No, that is not what I was saying.
Then what are you suggesting?
Breaking up that spot, old ruins that are not really used anyways, aside from partially by you, into embassies for each.
Your counter proposition is, I know you just asked for this entire area, but we could give you one piece of it instead.
No,
I think
we're misunderstanding what Scott means.
No, he understands.
I understand.
Yeah, completely.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying,
get fucked, mate.
Oh, I'm okay. I'll show.
So what she's saying is,
oh,
I know you just asked for this entire big area, but it's so big. Why don't I just give this part of it to you and give the rest to the other towns to balance out the power? But that's not what I want.
Correct.
And what I'm saying is, no, you will give all of it to us. But you're right, we don't need all that space. So of course we will allow the others to use the area for their embassies because Raerin is kind and has, of course, since the beginning of the New Hard Gwen, attempted to proliferate our council and freedom measures. America.
The issue I have with that is that it is a rather large representation of a single group within our city. You've done a lot for our city, overthrowing our overlords that were very unkind to our people. I personally did not suffer too greatly. As a matter of fact, I personally was able to do fairly well considering I created a hospital. But I also created a hospital out of necessity because what they did was cruel and horrible. The people needed something to allow them to limp along through life. And you've given them a liberation, and for that I genuinely appreciate it. However, if we hand the reins from one master to the next, that would not look well, would not bode well for the people, and certainly wouldn't be something they'd appreciate. And while I don't think you're here trying to usurp power intentionally, I'm actually honestly don't think that that is your intention here. What I'm saying is it may look that way if we have you seating multiple people into the council and you're maintaining our armies, which I would very much would appreciate if you were able to do that for us. And you also were able to have a large chunk of lands within the city that is well guarded and has a good number of guards, all to your banner, stations very strategically. I think that that would not bode well for the people's perception. So by breaking that up into something for all of the peoples, it gives you everything that you're asking for, but also alters the perception so that they can see that we're trying to be open to all of Adir. We're trying to be the heartbeat of our economy for the entire union of nations, if I dare say that we're even that far along.
As I have said, I have no problem with hosting the other villages and towns and cities' representatives within a sanctioned area. However, I feel that if you were to distribute the land fairly, it would be quite a rude gesture to my men and women who have died, freeing your land and protecting your people throughout the crisis.
I hear your arguments. I appreciate what you're saying. Sometimes a little is a little too much. And I think in this situation, that is where it falls. And I am sorry if you find that offensive to either you or your people, but I have to look to the people that I've lived with for years, and not just the allies that we've formed along the way. While I appreciate what you've done for our nation, we didn't ask or offer anything for you to come here. And I'm offering now that you've come all that I think is appropriate for the freedom of the people, but as well as to say thank you to our allies. Because I don't want to discredit what your people sacrificed, what you personally sacrificed. You carry bags under your eyes every time we meet. And I don't mean this as an insult. I mean it as a caretaker. You need rest. Your crown sits very, very heavily on your brow. I imagine some time of peace and tranquility after all this is settled will do well for the three of you, wherever one happened to have found himself.
I am offering to renovate an entire district of your city, which, as I understand, is teetering on the brink of its own destruction. This may benefit me, but it benefits you greater for the moment.
That phrasing, I'll allow you to roll a diplomacy check, sir. Freedom isn't free. It's a hefty fucking destiny. Freedom costs $1.05, depending on what state you live in. It's 27. You know that she's a formidable foe. Do you want to
yeah, let's luck it.
Luck it.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. What's this?
Oh, I was like, why is there a 0? I'm confused.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is this? I've been cucked.
I don't think I've seen you guys roll without luck dice. I just want to make sure I put them all in there.
We've never run dry before.
1, 2, 3. You were given 3 in total today, and you had 1 prior. So there's 1 rolled, 2 rolled, 3 rolled. Oh, nope, you were supposed to have 1. You were given 3, you had 1 prior. I forgot to add 1. You actually have it now. You are good to go.
Nice.
Okay.
That's so shitty. I wish I got the 30.
Okay, and I gave you 1 more because Aklo just threw another 1 in there too. So you still have 1 left. Yeah.
Oklo failed you.
Sorry. So sorry. You guys had 1. I had to count. That was my B. Moving on.
Didn't.
It was shortly before the Trump card came in, so I didn't see it, you know. What? Trump, what? So anyways, you get a 29 total. She stops, she stops, and actually you can see her genuinely contemplating the phrasing, but not in like a kind of way. She's actually weighing out the options in her mind. She leans back and thinks a bit more. It's one of those like, She wears a mask, as you know, but she's like, I can't deny that perhaps I am being a bit rude in this matter. It would be a bit of a beacon to the city itself. Should one of our most destroyed areas that has been a bit of an eyesore for perhaps centuries were to be renovated, as you said, and built up in a positive manner. I think that you should work closely with some of the others on the council. I myself don't have any particular taste for design. I tend to like things simple. For the manner that this for the manner of architecture, to make sure it doesn't come off the wrong way, so it blends in well and as a beacon within the city. But I concede to your request and to your point. Well made.
I am happy to lend aid to my allies.
We're happy to receive it.
That the people will not forget your respectful show here. Ilen and I will make sure of that.
She says, of course, she thanks you again. And then proceedings of whatever it is that you guys are happy to be going through. Introduction of Jaden, so on and so forth. All that can happen. We're not going to apply Jaden's stats because, one, they're not going to affect right now.
And we need to make her.
Yeah, we have to create her, correct. Technically, she would affect the economy if she went that way. She's going to affect stability, of course. So we'll craft her later on. It's funny, when we're talking about classes, I actually like the idea of making her as an Umdura, because we don't have a representation of that class yet.
What is that?
You didn't read the PDF that I posted while I was on vacation?
I mean, I did. I didn't read all the classes that fit into the categories.
Umdura is another
form
class.
Of divine.
Yeah, it's actually a different version of paladin. It's almost like a spontaneous paladin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they have a different spell casting. Anyways, so moving on. I think they're still charisma based. I hope they're not because she's not very charismatic. What?
I was saying the same. I was saying, yeah, I hope not.
Oh, yeah. Is it?
To you.
Yeah.
I was just also typing to Josh as I said that. Did
Gotcha.
I just say like total gobbledygook? Because
No.
because,
You said it. It's just I think I scotted, honestly.
Because I put my voice over to like autopilot while I actually focused on typing. So I could have said like God knows what.
Yep. I hear you on that one.
That as well. The amount of times I'll be having a conversation, I'll go to type something, and I'll either type what I'm saying, or say what I'm typing instead of what I'm meant to say.
So there is the divine training version. There is the exemplar of war version of them where they don't get spells. Instead, they get combat feats, which makes them more combat related. And they get chosen warriors, so they have some other stuff. It's funny because it's actually the exemplar gains the chosen one feat as a bonus feat. Oh, sorry.
Imagine that. So anime. She like draws a sword. She's like, I am the chosen of the chosen.
All right. Anyways, so it's a combination of like it's like a cleric inquisitor mix that makes a different version of paladin. Moving on. So back to Hogwarts. We will write her name in there, as general. Oh, you just did, or I did earlier. Did I spell that correctly? I think I did. Well, High Priest is going to become Slumbering Queen's lackey. I'll get a name afterward. Slumbering lackey. They will offer 2 to stability. Jaden will remove the penalty to economy. And will offer stability would be strength or charisma. Funny thing about that, she's probably not going to have a super high charisma. Let me just check her stats real quick, because I did make her technically. Where did I make her? I put her somewhere. Where did I put you, Jaden? I put you in the hole. Come out, come out. There you are. Emitta's a first level character with a 17 strength. So at the very least, she's going to have at least a 17 strength. So we can at least say she offers a 3 to stability.
Which is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Given the literal shithole they are in right now.
Yeah. Did that not change? Oh, it did. Okay. So with the 3 to stability, so at least they're going to have a 16, so they're going to have to roll a 12 or higher to succeed currently. But we'll worry about the rest of that later. Moving on. Back to what we were doing. And to answer Anno's question from like 2 hours ago, Anno, yes, I did remove the fishery and the whatchamacallit. Oh. All right, so we did unrest. We assigned leadership role. Claiming hexes. No thanks. New buildings or settlements. So because you actually just made that suggestion, what building were you hoping to put there, or are you not renovating it yet?
I would like to renovate straight away.
Into a town hall?
Tesh is in agreement. We need to decide what to put in there. Let's find buildings. So we don't necessarily have to, we don't have to. So what I'm thinking is like this district is ours and we renovate it, see fit, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily all of it becomes one thing, if you follow.
Yeah, so I 100% get that. It's going to make things more complicated later on, but for now we'll deal with this. And you have, what's your current treasury?
35.
Wait, why does it say 35?
35.
Because we got 35.
Oh, because I was like, that's back to where it was. Because you rolled so well. Sorry.
Again.
No, we heard you, Tesh. We heard you. Tesh? Let's keep going. So,
this is so weird. Your head. I think it might be your headphones, Tesh.
Yeah, because we hear you, no problem.
Yeah, we hear you.
I'm gonna plug in my headphones.
Yeah.
But it said unstable internet connection.
We definitely hear you fine.
Literally every time.
Really
like you're reacting like, what's going on? And we're like, Tesh, and you're like, well, this is. Sorry, 22 BP for a town hall. It would actually be. What buildings do they have?
While he's thinking about that, let's move on to the next thing. It's something that we need answered soon, but let's move on to the next thing for now. Terrain or improvements or preparations. They're not going to do anything like that. They're claimed and prepared lands they're going to hold, and they're not going to do anything else with it because that would just be a waste of BP. Declare edicts. This is a huge one. Jake, back to you, sir. I know you guys have talked about this beforehand. You can hear me no problem, right? Pretty sure you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because of microphone distance. So, your recruitment, you want to step that down from warlike. You wanted to bring that from warlike down to, remember, if you go from warlike to aggressive, that is relatively easy to do. Trying to bring it from warlike down to normal, peaceful, or pacifist is a huge step down. Usually changing recruitment is a much easier edict to change because you're taxing the people less, like less money, but also like less war, you know? So you could actually go down to pacifist in theory and just drop the military down ridiculously. But the people might not like that either because what they just went through, you know?
That's the Slumbering Queen's decision there.
No, I'm actually leaving this because it's something that you had talked about beforehand. So
we just drop it by 1 to avoid making any checks.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's the checks do not need.
So as we're staging into as you're bringing yourselves into getting rid of all of the undead, stability, so on and so forth, just kind of one step at a time, releasing some of the soldiers at the same time. You don't want to like throw off the economy, like, all right, all of you are cut off from government pay. Bye. Like, oh, okay. Gonna love government shutdowns. Those are fun for everybody involved. So yeah, we'll switch it to aggressive, like you said. That makes stability 1 better. So you only have to roll an 11 to 50-50 shot to succeed now. Awesome. Next step after that is... Oh, any other edict changes? Sorry. Holidays, none. Propaganda, none. Taxation, normal. If you do taxation light, yeah, it doesn't do anything. Propaganda, token, does nothing. None. Expansionist. I mean, if you do propaganda, it actually increases stability. Because propaganda was currently at none. They actually could go up to standard propaganda, which will help increase stability a little bit by 1 point.
I would not increase it, but
if you think it's a bad idea,
if
you think it's a bad idea, then let's leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to dispute that. I'm going to say that they're going to step it up 1 step to token. Because they need to start trying to foster the people into thinking, no, Hard Gwen is a different place now. Like, hear ye, hear ye. These are the free readings of Samuel Seabury. Heed not the rabble who scream revolution. They have not your interest at heart. And Jake's over there like, let's tear this dude apart. No?
Can I get a link to Hard Gwen's thing so I can see what they've got built?
Yeah, that's fine. And Tesha's face makes me sad because that means Tesha's never seen
Hamilton.
Hamilton. Oh, that's...
I need to.
You should invite us to a viewing party, but you only ever want us for our dice.
You mean I honestly don't know how to do a quote viewing party. You have to teach me, honestly.
Only ever
there are ways.
There are ways, he says.
There are ways.
Thanks.
Yes. I might quickly be right back.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. You go right ahead. The only thing is, like, if I watch Hamilton or anything like that with somebody that's never seen it before, I can't sing along with it because it's like super rude. So I have to like be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
In holidays, let's see. If you go stability, consumption, loyalty, all that stuff. If you go to annual, it provides a little bit of loyalty, but reduces stability. Ooh. So you do monthly. Yeesh. Bi-weekly. Yeesh. So let's leave holidays at 0 because it adds to stability. Okay.
Okay, right. And you desperately need stability.
All right, so that's going to be it for their edicts. Next is going to be their economy, which you guys don't have to worry about. And then event phase. Hey. First things first, Jake, you get to roll to see if there's an event or not. Actually, Steve, are you still here? Yeah, Steve is. Steve, first tell me, event phase. There wasn't one last time, so it's a 75% chance. Steve, for there to be an event, is it high to be an event or low to be an event? Answer that question. And after you answer that question, follow it with a D100 roll. Okay, well, that means an event happened. Okay, Steve, let's keep it going for you. Once again, for Hard Gwen, you can have, it's only a settlement, not a whole kingdom. So it's hard to say that there is a beneficial or dangerous kingdom event because there really is only a settlement. It really is only one settlement, but it is a rather large settlement. So I'm going to ask, before you say anything, Steve, Jake and Neil, do you think that kingdom is an option for events? Because this nation by itself still is technically larger than Raerin. Its population is still greater by 20%. Mm-hmm. 25%. Its economy is still greater by 4 times. I think it could also go as a kingdom, right? Yeah, I answered my question. Steve, would you like it to be a beneficial or a dangerous kingdom or settlement role? It's up to you, buddy. All on you. To those of you watching on YouTube, I love interacting with Twitch. hopefully sometime you're able to find a live show. And I would appreciate if you could pop in, even if you can't really hang out for the whole thing, just pop in and say, hey, or join the Discord because, you know, be a part of the community, man. Either way, I just appreciate you watching. All like 40 of you. You're amazing. I appreciate you. Where are you? Did he roll? He said Dangerous Kingdom. Ooh. Dangerous Kingdom roll. Roll me. If you roll a 1 to 5 on that D100, it's an assassination attempt. Bum, bum, bum. Dude, a 60 to 64 is a large disaster. He rolls a 49. All right, here we go. 49 is a improvement demand. Neil, you swung in just in time, buddy. Wow, improvement demand. What a kind of lame one to choose, but that's cool. So improvement demand. I say lame because it's not like a tornado. It's like we want, I don't know, a Friendlies. Moving on. Friendlies is like an ice cream business out here.
Starbucks.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you for a bigger option. We need more Walmart, you know, so improvement demand hex. It says hex. This event is identical to the building demand event, but the citizens want the construction or destruction of a terrain improvement in the hex. We lost our farms. We want them back. Building demand. Settlement and continuous. The citizens demand a particular building to be rolled or to be built or demolished. Oh, okay. You get to roll to see if it's built or demolished. Hold on. Select a building type randomly from those available in the settlement. If the demand is not met in the next event phase, unrest increases by 1. Alternatively, you can suppress the citizens' demands and negate the event by succeeding a loyalty check. Good luck. Which reduces the loyalty by 2 and increases the unrest by 1. Oh boy. Steve, can you roll me a D100 for a quick sec? If you roll really high, they actually want to destroy something. A 49, so it's low. So they want to build something hex-wise. So let's go back over to the thing over here. I think the idea that they want this back makes sense. Because that area was very significant. It's the freshest water that they were getting. There was farms there. There was fisheries there, so on and so forth. I think they want that back. And they're fucking demanding that they get that back. So if they don't get it back, unrest is going to go up by 1. Let me just read something real quick. If it's not met in the next event phase, and the event phase, just to be clear, is at the tail end. So let's leave a note. Need hex with fishery and farm back in HG or SpaghettiOs. I spell spaghetti, so you know. There you go. Cool. That just happened. I appreciate that. Thank you, Steve, for participating. Very much. Okay, cool. And I think that concludes how fucked Hod Gwen is with an unrest of 16. There's one more thing I wanted to do, but before we get there, Neil. This is the thing I was talking about spending the tail half of, or not the tail half, like maybe the last quarter of this session with, but again, we had fun. Do you, I'm
listening.
Oh, did you choose you want Umdora? Sorry. You know, it totally just hit my brain. It's just, because I'll be 100% honest with why I just froze. I literally just had like a mini anxiety attack. So I just thought about how I opened the stream talking about somebody that I work with. And there's this like 20-second anxiety or whatever that was attack where I was just like, oh my God, if they ever found this video, if they ever found this stream, if they ever found out so-and-so, oh my God, that'd be so bad. Because like that could be like reported to HR or something. You know, like, you know, luckily again, nobody knows what I do for work. So
don't say names next time.
Yeah, if you're a shitty person, it should be called out. But it's. Anyways, I just literally had like a mini anxiety. I'm literally cold sweats right now. I just had a mini anxiety attack over that. It's one of the bad things about living a dual life and being honest with some of it.
Literally, I was just watching you and I was like,
oh God, I won't lie.
Because I could see you just there like.
It was, yeah. I'm perspirating like all throughout my body at the moment as I just had a mini panic attack. So the hot flash will end. Sorry, children, this is what happens when you become an old lady. You get menopausal. You have hot flashes. Like my chest is so warm right now. Anyways, moving on. Jaden, did you choose what class you wanted her to be?
I've not had a chance to look at Ondura. I've been looking at buildings.
Oh, fair.
What, Artie? Why you meow at me?
Then we'll worry about that later on. Like I said, there was something else I wanted to do anyways. Did you decide on the building?
So, right now, I have a little toss-up between... Hello, little cat. How are you? You don't smell not like Scott's cat. She's dead. She's very old. Hey, Scott. You're a cunt.
Artie isn't it?
Whoa! I'm sorry about that language. Good job. So currently I'm tossing up. So I was thinking about doing small things one by one. But actually they are going to want to build stuff quickly. So they don't want us building stuff in there all the time. Because that's using up their build for that turn. So currently I am thinking towards a 4-lot building that is going to benefit them massively. So it's a toss-up between a castle or a cathedral. It's built on ruins, so it would be half. It gives castle gives +2 to economy, +2 to loyalty, +2 to stability, -4 unrest. There's a discount for noble villas, which there are, and +1.
It's a discount to build new noble villa.
The other way around, yeah.
Two things real quick though. One, a castle looks rather
austere potentially.
Considering what was just discussed with structure design, and number two, a cathedral to who?
It'd obviously have to be the martyr in the center. I'm guessing.
Oh, that wasn't what was previously discussed.
Oh, could it not be a cathedral to the what's the term we're using here? The pantheon.
Mechanics.
So part of it is that the cathedral one had plans to eventually construct the cathedrals of Roga there. If you construct the cathedral as anything else,
that's right, yeah.
Then what you're doing is you then have to retrofit a cathedral from another god to that god, which disingenuinizes.
Yeah, but what if we make a cathedral for the pantheon, the 3? Though I can't remember what you call it in this.
Idiopan.
I would only
ideological
say,
pantheon.
Look at it from what we discussed before with what we were going for, like the Holy Trinity of the Holy Cities, right? So we discussed that you're going to have Sun's Rest. We're going to have a cathedral to
the
and Hodgwen was going to be Rogar.
But you would also, in theory, you would also have temples to the other 2 gods in each of the 3 primary cities. Yep.
But so you could always have Hodgwen have a cathedral to the 3, and Rogar.
If I remember correctly, because there's not
you
always.
You can only have 1 cathedral per settlement.
Yeah, and Rogar's cathedral in a different settlement.
No, because because of the significance of that particular location, you want that to be one of the 3 primary ones. And the idea of having Idiopan cathedrals, those would be, or even Idiopan temples, those would be in the other settlements that are inevitably acquired that are outside of the 3 primary ones.
So I'm gonna counter that with, because of the significance of the location, you do not want it to be a single deity, because then you are raising a deity above the others. You want it to be the Idiopan because it's the center of Adir and the heart of commerce.
I know where you build the Vroga one. I know where. Vigil.
I would disagree because we'd already worked it out, but I'm not there. However, if you go ahead and do that, then I mean it's more RP down the track.
Yeah, I know.
You
It's
kind of already worked
rocky.
it out.
Part of the thing was the whole how the Vroga orcs went on their own and managed to take Hard Gwen.
Liberated it.
It. So that's part of the reason why it was going to be to Vroga.
So the reason it's a toss-up between these two, right, is because a castle gives +2, +2, +2, -4 on rest, whereas a cathedral gives +4 loyalty, +4 stability, and -4 unrest. We want the -4 unrest right now. That's why it's so important.
Are there other ways to minus unrest?
Not that much.
I'm gonna, well, four is a huge one, but even a 2 is
you can get
massive.
-2s. But also think about a +4 to loyalty.
Because if you did a -2 in any way, that's 2 more to your stability check, meaning you only have to roll a 9 or higher without modifier to reduce it by 1 on its own next round, and blah blah blah.
But then a -4 plus a 4 to stability is huge, literally. And the reason I kind of want to make a grander gesture, because I don't want the people to be like,
That's I mean Raerin's thing. If you want to turn around and do that, you can work it out with Ilen. If Ilen's down for it, I guess you can just do it. But you know where I stand, like as one in character on it. And if I'm just gonna put it out there, if you did that, it's kind of like a spit in the face.
It's kind of like abandoning your duties to go off on like an outer planar journey.
Oh, throwing shade.
Like I'm trying to decide. Like Raerin obviously really likes one, and they're very close, and they're brotherly in their bond and affection. But his friend just bailed on him.
I'm gonna put it this way. I didn't abandon you when you sold 10,000 souls. I went to figure some stuff out, and I guess one values loyalty. I guess that's just
claws out, boys.
So what you're saying is we should go for the +4 loyalty over the +2 loyalty. So we should definitely build a cathedral.
Hey, listen, a jail is -2 unrest and +2 stability.
I also looked at jail, but it kind of sends the wrong message, doesn't it? Hi, we're here, we're helping.
Build the jail. Build the jail.
I noticed we've got some new diplomats in town. Oh, really? Yeah, they're building. Oh, what? A jail.
Remember, the orcs also helped. The Barrenland people also helped defend.
Yeah, I'm not against building one to
Ilen's going to vote for it to be Vroga.
I mean, it's not like the prayers are going to matter, right?
You notice how Tesh is strategically not giving his opinion one way or the other? He's allowed them to duke it out.
Tesh come to the light. At the end, he said right at the end that he would vote Vroga. So
he did not actually say that. He did not say those words.
I suppose you're right. We did have these previous.
I said what Ilen was gonna do,
and I'm not quite willing to just go back on it. So I guess I think building a cathedral would be a big grand gesture of significant. It'd be significantly impressive. It would also
an eyesore into that.
Obviously, it's not going to be an eyesore. We're going to be working with the local architects.
No. What I mean is, we're turning.
Exactly, definitely, and it's going to significantly turn Hardgwen around.
It's garrison. Yeah. So he's talking about where you guys had attacked before. Yeah. So the garrison would have been rebuilt because they needed that forever ago because of the undead. So the garrison is actually already rebuilt long before they became a factor. So
okay.
No to that one. No. Sorry.
I think we should build a cathedral then, and we can have it to Vroga. What's Vroga? Chaotic.
Chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
Chaotic neutral.
So what are we building?
He would add. Oh, okay, but we're not doing that. I think we should build a cathedral.
In the name of
to Vroga.
Okay.
I'm presuming that the slumbering queen wouldn't have a problem with this.
I mean, we have 10 minutes left.
The good thing is that she's not an architect, and she only said we needed to make sure it's in keeping. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. However, an embassy to your nation that houses the other nations as an embassy would not be easily categorized out of a structure that is going to be a cathedral to Vroga, especially since
I think you're right. I think we go with castle
because the innocents that were killed in Vroga's name, unfortunately.
Yeah, I say we
they
leave
also freed.
I say we leave the cathedral business to Jake, and we build a castle.
I thought the idea of building a castle there might be the wrong setting.
I actually would be fine with you building the castle, but you're gonna have to get the message across. You're gonna have to convince the council of this. So to convince the council, it's going to have to be one of those things where you're going to have to get a vote where they agree on this one. To get this vote, we're going to bring it down to mechanics, nice and easy, and then that's how we're going to end stuff up for this session. So on their council, the way it works is they do have the heavier and the lighter votes. So the way I kind of liked the idea of it being slightly weighted, but not too heavily weighted. So if we're going to do it as like the primary, because you have how many positions there? I'm going to just write off to the side for simplicity. Pod Gwen, come back over to Kingdom. So just trying to fill this in. So you have Heavy, which is 3, will be Queen, not Rena, Jaden, Lackey, until we get a name. And what was the last one? Sorry, Natalie. Then you have Mid, which is 2, and you have Light, which is 1 vote. So Mid is going to be your positions that are things like, say, Warden, General. So no, General. We already said General was important. Warden, Counselor, because that just speaks of the people, so it doesn't necessarily matter. Sorry. Yeah, Warden. Sorry, Counselor. Silor. What else we got in there? Sorry, and Rarity Treasurer. Light is going to be people like Spy Master, Viceroy. Spy Master, Viceroy. Who else would be in there? Grand Diplomat would be in there as Light. Grand Diplomat. And who else is left? That leaves Magister and Marshal and Royal Enforcer. Royal Enforcer would also have a light one. Enforcer. That leaves us with Mid will be Magister and Marshal. Let's go this way. Magister and Marshal. So you need to convince these people that you want this done. So you can kind of already immediately assume that the idea of a castle, the queen, is probably going to be in so no camp will probably be the queen, yes camp. You need to figure them out. So the way I'm going to have you do this is that you can send different people to convince them. Each person that you send to do convincing will be allowed to try to convince 2 people with no penalties. Any additional person you try to convince with a diplomacy check is going to increase the DC. Okay? So that being said, I know obviously Ilen and Raerin would immediately go over there and try to handle stuff. I also know, of course, they're going to send Arthur over there. So I imagine the 3 of them are immediately going to grab 2 people. Would you want any of them grabbing a 3rd person or no? And who else would you want to try to grab? And who are they grabbing?
Is there any chance I could have a list that you just typed that?
Oh, yeah.
Have you put it? Is it on Twitch right now?
It is on Twitch right now, but it might be hard to read on Twitch.
Queen, Jaden.
So we have to choose someone to try and convince.
Choose 2 people to try and convince.
Each.
Yeah. Some of them are almost certainly going to vote in our way anyway.
Yeah.
But I just put it in your cast room too. So you can imagine right off the bat, Jaden is automatically going to be on your side. Okay. And in the no camp, you can imagine immediately the queen is going to be against, and so therefore it's easy for the lackey to just assume against. Okay, this is just assumptions. Everything else beyond that, you're going to need to figure out. Okay.
So Natalie is probably an easy convince.
You'd have to word it to make sure she understands the benefit. She's certainly
I
friendly.
assume we're doing this as roles.
Also, who would you have take care of that? You know, Natalie.
That's what we're deciding now.
Natalie Fox. Who is you?
Oh, yeah. Of course.
We'd probably send Uncle
Artie.
Yeah.
Your uncle's a cat? No, so Uncle Artie.
Yeah, there's a person from Harrod there, right? So Ilen, that's one for Ilen.
Oh yeah, which one's that one?
So you're gonna have to take Xander because I'm not dealing with Xander.
Well, also as Josh actually pointed out in chat, Elliot for Xander is a good idea. I don't know if you remember, but Xander saved Elliot's life.
Okay, cool. We could do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Elliot also has a really good diplomacy. He uses the orator skill.
They can go 1-to-1. I'd like to take the counselor because I think I can appeal to her wanting to protect the common folk.
Sure. Yep.
Which one's the one from Harrod?
Harrod. Was it the warden?
I have my notes here. Hold on one second. I will confirm that.
Toddy.
From Harrod. From Harrod is Ashtara.
Oh, so that's which one's that? That's the Grand Diplomat.
Correct. So you want the Grand Diplomat, Tesh? I'm sorry. You want the Grand Diplomat and?
Who's the marshal and
Raerin should take apart from the counselor or whatever. He should take the one from Raerin.
Yeah, so that's warden.
How many votes is his? 2.
Yep, warden is 2.
Yeah.
So
because we defended them. So there's
I actually met him. He was nice.
So Neil, you're taking the warden and who else?
I'd like to take the counselor and the warden.
Okay, cool. We're gonna have you roll first so we can get those done and then go to the next one. Okay. So for you to convince the counselor, you actually get to choose. So this is where I gotta make sure I'm the right one. Raerin. Advisor's tasks. You are the ruler. No, you're not the ruler. Sorry, you're the treasurer.
Yes.
And what you're ruling as treasurer is the this kind of a loyalty check, and this is going to be you have no flaws or focuses. Let me just look at these positions to see if you have any additional modifiers. So that being said, the counselor.
So we're not actually using diplomacy then.
No, we're going to use your because apologies. Diplomacy. You are correct, as opposed to task rolls. My apologies. So you can roll diplomacy for the counselor.
Because as life is task rolls, we're not sending Elliot. I've seen how that goes.
All right, roll your goddamn diplomacy. Ouch.
So I'm going to use fallback strategy for this one because this one's really important and it's the least likely. So I've got 10 minutes of this fallback strategy. So Raerin, what Raerin says is, walk with me, walk through the town, we walk to the ruins, and he explains what a siege is like, that he spent much of his life on a wall besieged, and that there's no way out if you are encircled by an army, and that people die. And as she well knows, people will starve. So Raerin will explain the importance of a defensible bastion. And then he will also say it's important for diplomats within the city to feel safe in neutral ground. This she might not understand quite so much. And then he's also, to really pound home, he's going to say, there's walls, right? You can defend yourselves, you can protect yourselves, but you can't escape. And he's going to take her through the teleporter out into the forest of Kurzfall and say, what you're offering to your people here is a second chance at life.
You're doing that to Stefania? Okay, sorry, choked up on that one. Okay, roll me that diplomacy check and do not fuck up. Double ones. Oh no! Of Of course, you might as well just top that cake, boyo. You might as well just top that cake. Go ahead, hit that 40. Hit that 40.
Do I want to? How many luck do we have?
There's a way to find out.
If we get 40, you might be able to convince her to keep it on.
Well, she could permanently come into our camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Which would be good, given I know it's a bit risky showing her this, but like, what better way to be like, this is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah, one's gonna come back and be like, you did what? At least I didn't build a cathedral.
Just press the damn button.
Ilen's gonna be like, come back to Raerin and being like, so how did you Ilen's gonna come back.
Natty.
So how did you convince them? And then Raerin's gonna be like, I took them through the portal. And that was an option.
I now know why you're the chosen. I understand. Of course.
Raerin's getting a harem.
No, honestly, I will just be quick with this because of the time of day. You converted her to your camp. The 41? God damn it. Roll for the next person. And just this time, just roll the damn die. Oh, wait, hold on. Where? Sorry, let me get this set up first. So she is counselor.
Counselor.
Is in the yes camp. God damn it. Counselor.
Yep. And now this is the warden.
Yep.
I'll go through the same things. He understands.
Yeah, of course.
However, I'll also say, troops are expensive. It's much better. Also, because I can, I'm going to cast fallback strategy again for this one. Wait, did you just delete that?
No.
He did. Look, he did. He was evil.
I didn't delete anything.
What?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, yep, no problem. He's in your camp. Yay, counselor. And who's this, warden?
Warden, yeah.
Honestly, the number of votes you currently have, just tallying, right here. So for no's, you currently have, 6 in the no camp. Out of, somebody want to find out how many total votes there can be? And in the yes camp, you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the yes camp. Cool. It's up to you now. We'll do, you said you want Elliot to only do one. Elliot obviously has a very strong relationship with him. Blah, 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 blah. Elliot can actually, he can diplomacy, he can also oratory. I just need to double check something really quickly for his oratory ability. Orator means that he can linguistics check in place of diplomacy to change an attitude. So, honestly, he can make sure the attitude's set up and then diplomacy them. So we'll do a linguistics first, followed by diplomacy.
Oof.
To convince Xander.
Elliot, man.
But Xander's already friendly with him. The two of them are friends.
That's true.
The two of them talk on other deals as well. The two of them talk about many different things. So just another quick little conversation that they have. Other people know what that's in reference to. Don't worry about it. One more quick little check. Again, other people know what this is in reference to. Don't worry about it. And he comes back and he will have a positive vote for this one.
Hey.
And that is from the Magister. So the yes camp, Magister. Which gets you to 10 votes.
Imagine going through all this just so you can spend 27 BP.
Okay, next is Tesh. Tesh, the first person you were trying to convince, my apologies, was
the Grand Diplomat, because they were from Harrod.
Cool. Roll your diplomacy check for me, sir.
I mean, it's still 23. Okay.
Are you comfortable with that roll, sir?
We have no dice left.
Are you sure?
We got another one.
But do I want to? This is only a 1 vote. Do I want to waste it on this one too? For who's already likely to be at least a little bit friendly.
I was
with
gonna say
me?
he's from Harrod.
I think it's likely they're friendly with you, which would mean
Yeah,
the DC
so
is
I'll keep
15, 20. Possibly.
I'll keep this one for I won't.
Okay, so for the for your role for the, my apologies, this was the
Grand Diplomat.
Grand Diplomat. You got them. Grand
Grand
Diplomat, however the fucking spelled. So that gets you to an 11.
The
all right.
Marshal is the other one. Is the other important one that we want to get.
Correct, and the Marshal falls to the position of Sindra, and Sindra comes from She comes from Forvin.
Oh. Maybe she's heard about Forvin.
As for convincing Fox, sorry, Arthur. He has to roll for Fox. He got her.
Good job.
So yes for Fox, and what position she?
Frame.
Treasurer. Okay, cool. That gets him all the way to a 14 total. So 14 to 6 is looking pretty heavy, but let's just nail in the coffin that one right there. Royal Enforcer, you guys didn't really care about so much.
Marshall was the one I was going to do.
Okay, roll for me.
And
Who was
she's from
Marshall?
Forvin.
And you were in Forvin. Yeah.
Yeah.
21. And by the way, I forgot to say this, but before you did that one, Arthur had spare time, so he actually wanted to come with you anyways and give you a +4 to that. Yeah. So you succeeded, no problem. And so you got the what are they called again? The Marshal?
Yep.
And their weight is 2, so that gets you to 16. Let's go over all the positions, get the final tally here. Natalie, Lackey, Jaden, Queen all voted. Counselor, Magister voted. Warden, Marshal all voted. Grand Diplomat, Royal Enforcer actually was also in the no camp. Sorry, that's Royal. Royal and Spy Master was also in the no camp.
Dwayne was against it?
Correct.
Wayne?
Absolutely, he was against it.
Wow.
Guys, he's a Spy Master. He can't look like he's not on their team.
Oh, yeah.
God damn, she trained him so well.
Okay, come on. Like, that should have been obvious.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It did
Yeah.
not. It was just like...
legitimately went straight over my head.
All of us were like, what?
Yeah.
God damn.
Dang. Oh, right. That's fair.
He's like, they got this in the bag, right? All right, cool. No, posterity, right? You see that all the time. Like, you see that, and imagine you guys see it with your parliament. I see it with my Congress, where somebody does the posterity no vote. Like, cool. Good job, guy. Anyway, so yep, that's that. So there was a yes. You guys are able to build it. It was literally a 2-to-1 turnout, like 16-8. I think that maths out to there being a vote value of 24 votes. I can make this cleaner for the future, but 24 votes, I kind of like the idea of that sounds nice. Because 24 can technically be a tie. You know what I mean? So.
Sure. Right. So that is because it's being built on ruins. That's going to cost us 27 BP. So if we minus 27 from our treasury, and then how do we get the benefit of a castle?
It's so much money.
I know.
The way I can make that uneven.
Defensible presence in Hodgwen now, though.
That is, we have 8 left.
The way I can make this uneven is by taking away the vote to the viceroy, which might be appropriate to do. But I'll deal with that later on because that would make it so it's uneven. I'll deal with that later. As it is, it's 11:08. So you guys making yourselves poor to pay for the construction of that castle. Do you want to hear the fun part about constructing buildings inside other places? Look up the rules. It also benefits your kingdom.
Does it?
Mm-hmm. It does.
May I ask that you tell me?
I have to look up the rules to find out the exact details on that one. But it's actually, I think it's under not buildings. I think it's under settlements or just basic kingdom building rules. We'll have to find that later on. But for now, I have to go because I have to go. I wish it was a day off. I wish I was still on vacation, but I am not. I have to go to work. And then I have no idea what's happening in Lost Leadership tonight. There was a rumor that Mike was supposed to have me take over as DM or something. I texted him last Wednesday twice. He never responded. I messaged in Discord a couple times, never responded. So I literally have no idea what's going on tonight in Lost Initiative, who's DMing, what's happening, or anything. So when I say rumor, I mean he said it.
I see what you're saying. Look, I'll come in. I can DM Feast God. Don't worry.
Bye, everybody. See you later. You can find Tesh over at the twitch.tv/theteshtube. He's awesome, plays lots of awesome games. He has a lot of cool friends, but he has to teach them how to play games because they suck miserably, and Tesh is a pretty steady player. I'm not joking. Watch them play Monster Hunter World or Monster Hunter, whatever the fuck the game is called. Don't worry about Neil because he's a terrible person, and nobody gives a shit about how he is a terrible person over at twitch.tv/OllieRant. OllieRant, where he has his own homebrew world called Yaviscare. Really cool world, generally one of my favorite worlds. Also where you can find Schism. You can type Schism in command to find out what Schism is. That's made by a couple of people over on twitch.tv/OllieRant, but not Neil, because he's not a creative person, so they didn't want him participating in the creation of that game. Lastly, you can also find Jake here because he is the true one king. Goodbye, good night, no raid because nobody's ever alive. Bye.